All right. Welcome to Clarity Sessions with Bill Fouth, where we cut through the noise and bring you real, practical clarity on money, business, mindset, and everything in between. Now, if you're a mompreneur, a business owner, or someone who's just ready to take more control of your financial life, this is your space. No fluff, no overwhelm, just simple, powerful insights you can actually use. Because let's be real. When you got the right clarity, you make better decisions, and better decisions lead to a whole different life. And so let's get into it. Today's question is,
what happens if someone gets audited but their records are disorganized?
what happens if you get audited and your records aren't accurate or up to snuff? So the answer is we get them up to snuff. But the idea is that I want to take the fear of an audit off the table if I can. What I find with people, particularly small business owners, is they see the IRS as the tax boogeyman and he's out to get me. And, I have people, they only come to me once a year because they don't want to deal with it. They only have, they want to deal with the stress of taxes for a shorter period of time during the year as they can. And rather than viewing Uncle Sam as an ally and as a resource and as a tool with resources that can be leveraged and used for your benefit, and they view him as somebody's out to get them and to punish them. And we need to shift that belief because the IRS really wants to help you just be tax compliant, pay your fair share. And one of the things I find is they have different levels of pain they want to inflict on you. If you're being tax compliant and you miss a payment or something, they'll send you a friendly notice just reminding you. And if you ignore the notice, then they're going to send you a little stronger worded notice saying you need to pay your taxes or file your taxes. And then if you're behind on tax compliance, what they're going to do is say, we're going to file a tax return based on what we know for you, and we're going to send you a tax bill. And if you don't pay the tax bill then they're going to get a lien, which is against real property, or they're going to get a levy, which is against your bank account. And they're going to collect the money. But they have a standard procedure of how they go through that. And you don't want to wait until they're actually doing that before you start dealing with the issues. So as a small business owner, what I find is that many clients come to me and their finances aren't in order. So the first year we do their taxes together is we go through an education process of, this is what came in. And again, how did you get the revenue? Where does it reside? And what would the IRS look at if they did audit you? They want to see your bank accounts. So we look at your deposits and say your deposits now are your revenue. Or if the deposit was money you sold from a piece of real estate and you put in your bank account, then it's an investment. It's not revenue from sales. Or if you put money in from your savings account, then it's an investment by an owner rather than sales. But money that was deposited that was from revenue or sales you did for clients, we count as revenue. And we put that on the spreadsheet or we put it in the accounting system. Then we look at all the other things that went through the bank account as to what went out. And again, we classify it as a business expense or as a personal expense. And we classify it as what types of business expense, because we're going to want to put them in the buckets that the IRS is going to want to look at. It's going to be sales and marketing. Some is going to be legal and professional. Some might be office expense. Some might be supplies. Some might be utilities. Some might be travel and entertainment. Things like that we're going to put them into the buckets that the IRS would want to see them in. And then we're going to say, okay, so this is what came in. This is what you have. This is the forensic documents the IRS is going to look at. And now we reconstruct the tax return or we reconstruct the profit and loss statement so that it will conform or be up to snuff so that the IRS looks at it, that this is going to say, okay, this is an ordinary necessary expense. We accept that. We claim it as an expense. So the idea is that if you don't know what you don't know, then the IRS is going to assume is going to do it for you in the worst case, in their best interest, in your worst case interest. So it's in our interest to try to understand what it is that they're looking for. And typically they just want you to be tax compliant. So if you're already behind, I got many clients that come to me with 2 or 3 years unfiled taxes, or they went through a period of COVID and they just basically checked out and they didn't do anything. We get them tax compliant. And we get the IRS off their back, and then in some years the clients actually got refunds because they were just avoiding it and they didn't know that they were going to be getting a refund. Basically, the idea is that the IRS just wants you to be tax compliant, so we make you tax compliant. The other thing is that the IRS has now a tax portal that every taxpayer has that you can log into and see what the IRS knows about you. It has all your tax history there. They have what they call a tax wage and income statement. So basically what we do is we log in there. we look at what they know about you. They look at what income that they see from you, and they see what tax returns you filed, and we see what kind of notices that they've sent you. And then from there, we know what they know, so we can reconstruct your income and put in a tax return that will satisfy them. And the other thing too is, once you have that tax portal, I have clients make me, they give the IRS authorization to let me look into their tax account so that I can do all that work for them, or at least basically we do it together so that we're reconstructing the taxes based on what makes their best interest. The idea is, again, we want to make Uncle Sam our friend rather than our enemy or our boogeyman. And they just want, they don't want your body. They don't want to take you to jail. Anything to do with taxes is civil, not criminal, unless you're a drug dealer. Then they want to come after you for that. But typically, they just want your money. So it's a civil type of thing. And again, there's degrees of how hard they're going to come at you based on how much you ignore them. So stop ignoring them and they'll leave you alone.